Alrighty guys, so it's that time of year again. Got the snow cab pieces scattered about here. And it's not going on my usual tractor. You can see I already have the cab mount switched over. I'm going to put the cab and the 44-inch snowblower on the 88 16G here. And I have a deadline because I have a parade this Friday. And the battery is bad in 83, so you know I could take something else very easily, but I might as well just bite the bullet, put the snow cab on this, and then I'll work on getting the 44-inch blower on here because this is not set up for front drive at the moment. I have the lift rod. And I thought I carried over the drive shaft. Oh, no, I didn't. I guess I have to go back over and get that. But I'm going to have to put the bearings and the stub shaft in the front axle, bolt on the attachment brackets, and everything. Now, this cab should go on a lot easier because I will not have to MacGyver anything. And it'll all bolt up factory using the bolts in the dash and the shift plate and everything like that, where I had it it was on the 83, but it was not really solid by any standards. So without further ado, I don't really think I'm gonna videotape this whole process. It's cold, heater's running in the background. I have the heat on. I have the little Kerosene on back here and my big heater going in the main part. I got the cab carried out and we're gonna stick it on. And as you guys can probably hear, it's pretty windy outside and the leaves are hitting the roof and stuff, so I'll get started on this and I'll bring you guys back and show you what's going on. I think that'll be about the best way to do this, so without further ado, here we go. Seems like every year when I put the snow cab on, it starts snowing. Isn't that kind of ironic? Interesting. So, anyhow, walking back for the damn manual because I don't remember where the bolts go on a G series. Anyhow, this might be a bit of your fall update too, because I'll probably forget to do one tomorrow. Just the oak trees are left. Later, guys. Okay. So I had to go and read the manual because I had forgot exactly how this frame mounts on here on a G series. Like I said, I had it mounted on an 8000 series, which I had it afro engineered to do a little bit, so I had to undo all that. I went and read the manual, and there's actually supposed to be spacers under here to hold it up. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use a long bolt like I did on this side, because I could not get it to line up and I couldn't figure out why. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 1/4-inch nuts in there, and then I can turn them and adjust the space as needed. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to go get one more longer bolt, and then I'll put that in with 2 nuts in between it, and then this side over here was a booger to get lined up because this panel keeps wanting to push out. I don't know why, but you can see it's really pushed in. No, I guess the other one's kind of like that too. So anyhow, I'm going to do that, and then if I'm not mistaken, you pull out the one bolt here for the hydraulic valve, and then you pull out. It either goes here or it goes here on this side. I just went in and looked at it, and they don't really show you, they kind of tell you, but I'm going to go, well, once I get this lined up, then I can kind of bend these and line them up where they need to be. And then once I get it adjusted back to a G series tractor, it won't take much to figure out. And then really all I got to do is put the uprights on and loosely set the roof on, then I can put the glass and the front canvas on, and we'll go from there. So here we go. Alrighty guys, so quite a few things have transpired since the last clip. I realized that once I got this bracketry all bolted down in the front, that if I left the dash piece in, because this is an early style G, this is only the second year of the G series, 1988, that piece actually jams against the steering wheel when you tighten everything up. You can see the steering wheel actually protrudes underneath the tube a little bit. So, long story short, basically I cannot leave that piece in there and turn the steering wheel. Now if I cut and lengthened it and rebent it and moved it to the back side here, could I leave it in there? Probably, yeah. But it's just such an extra pain that I didn't think I needed it, and I could always add a cross brace to it later, but I think it'll be pretty good once I tighten up the bolts on the bottom down here for the legs. So yeah, I'm about ready to put the roof on here. I'm going to pull, I see there's 2 bolts there, and I don't know, there's 2 bolts in the top. Yeah, the front 2 bolts are in the top, so I'll loosen them and throw them to the side and stuff, and then we'll get the roof on, and then I'll figure out this wiring mess exactly, because the way I had it run on the 8000 and the way it's going to have to be on the G series is going to be way different, just because the way the hoods work. I just had it run through the battery door on that, and this I'm either going to have to run it through the dash. It's probably going to be my best bet. I don't really, there's a little hole over there and that might work. But yeah, I'm just gonna have to cut the zip ties and redo all this, because like this part that goes up here to the roof will be, should be good. The other part's gonna have to change just because of where the hood goes up and down, and I don't want to knock it or get it shorting out in the dark. So, all right, let me get this under control, and I might let you guys watch me put the top on. We'll see if I got the brackets in the right place. So, stay tuned. I think that's it. And I got the bolts figured out. I'm going to show this real good because I could not find anything that showed it. It's actually the back bolt on a gas tank on this side, and the front bolt for the panel here at the why can I think of it? The hydraulic lift oil filter goes on. So yeah, that's what I'm up to. I'm going to tighten up these bolts, and then I'll go throw the roof on it, and then we'll start slapping the cab together. Here we go. Okay, I think you guys can see alright. All the bolts out, start sit the cab roof up and loosely bolt it on. I gotta go over the top of you guys here. There we go. got it. Everything lined up. I can tell you already, that's a lot sturdier than it was in years past. Hopefully you guys saw that already. Sitting on here. So now I'll have to put the front canvas on. You guys are still on a tripod here. I'll have to get the front canvas put on here. Then I can set the windshield in. Then I can tighten the bolts, and I'll leave the doors off until I get the wiring and everything done here, and then I will start in on putting the attachment brackets on. I won't show you guys getting the bearings out of 82, but I might show you guys installing them on the front axle. I don't know. See you when we get there, because I still got a bunch of steps here and a bunch can go wrong yet. We are by no means out of the woods yet. So, I'll keep plugging away and see what happens. And my fingers are freezing. Freezing. Brr. Well, here, it's not bad in here, but it's cold. The wind is blowing right in, though. Okay, I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see what I did here, but pretty much what I figured out is there's this opening that comes up through on the edge of the dash. Sorry, I was making sure. This is just a ground here, by the way. Goes up through the edge of the dash, and when the hood is shut, this is why this has the Velcro part there. Actually, it has to be pulled out. I had it in to keep it out of my way while I was working here. Just trying to show you guys. So with that down, you can see there's a hole here for the wires to go through. And I'm going to take and zip tie all these wires to this to the bracketry for the cab, etc. I just wanted to prove a functionality point. And I ended up leaving these bolts in the dash. Actually, the hood's hitting on something somewhere. Oh, it's hitting on this bar over here where I bent it. Oh, I can fix that. That's no problem. But anyhow, I ended up bolting the switch for the beacon light right there. It seemed like a good spot. It's out of the way here. Even if you got big heavy gloves on, you won't be hitting it. And there's enough room. You can spin it around the dash with your hand. Your big heavy gloves on might be entertaining, but it works. So let me get the hood back open. Tuck it down in here where you guys can see. It wasn't really that hard. And the ground, where is it at? Not that one. It's this white wire going here. It's probably over here in the shadows. Nope, wrong white wire. There it is. There's an extra factory ground on the G series, which is probably meant for the cab or some other electrical accessory you could add. And what I did was I put both power wires together and I put it on the battery side of the solenoid, so it's hot all the time. The flashers has a fuse in line, and the windshield wiper I will cut and add a fuse when I have a fuse to put in. So that's going to be it on that, and then I'll go get my zip ties out and clean this cluster, is calling it, is a very nice term for it, up, and get everything zip tied out of the way so that way I can't rip these connections apart and everything. I put these connectors up here because you have to be able to, I would have been cutting the wires apart every time you take this off. Would have been nice to have round connectors. I see what I do every year is I electrical tape these so that way they won't ground out up here. And it's funny, the ground one actually has the good covered female spade on it. Go figure that out. So, like I said, I get this all cleaned up and I got a cluster of tools all over the place and everything. And I'm going to put the camera on charge. I see it's about dead. As soon as it's in the cold, the battery's about dead. This little beacon light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, it's working. Spaghetti mess. Who wants to come clean that up? I don't. Alright guys, got everything put together. Got the bolts tightened down for the uprights. And got the doors adjusted. So they shut really good, and just like that, the cab's on the 8816G. As you can tell, the cab looks a lot nicer than the tractor, but whatever. Can't do nothing about it. It would look really good on the 12G, but there ain't no way the 12G would handle a big snowblower. Plus, the 12G don't hardly start in the winter, as I found out the other day. So I still might have fuel issues with it, but 16G looks good. And I didn't mention it, but I did change the oil before I put the cab on it. I didn't show that, but I changed the engine oil and everything. So that's gonna be a wrap for me today. Got a birthday party to go to, so I am off until the next installment. So this will be part 1 of getting the 8816G ready for winter, putting the cab on. I did put the front attachment brackets on, but I haven't done anything else. I dug and I know I showed part of this in the first clip, I dug the A drive shaft out and the lift rod for the snowblower that I bought, and basically I have to use the male drive shaft off of the mower deck on it, and then we should be good there. There's a universal over there, the 44. The only thing I'll have to do is I'll have to get the handle set right on the 44 so it'll go in the cab and not be outside, because the cab was designed for the Aaron style snowblowers, where the controls for the chute mount on the left side of the tractor. No, they mount on the right and they go through a hole over there. But Steve doesn't have an Aaron style snowblower, even though there is one for sale on Craigslist for $300. So Steve has a hole butchered in this side, and while it is not pretty, it does function. So like I said guys, thanks for watching, and catch everybody on the next one. Later. I think there's still like 2 12G parts in front of this or something, so you guys might see this midweek, like November, I don't know, 14th, something like that. So anyhow, later guys.